Today's theme is going to be when the old you dies, the real you shows up. Glory. The book name we're going to be having today is the book of Jujutsu Kaisen, character chapter Maki, Zenin, and My Sacrifice. Glory. Culling Games Part 1, Episode 4. Turn to your neighbor and say, the price of full power. Glory, glory. Listen. Now this fight is not a regular fight. This is a funeral. Yes, that's right, a funeral with hand-to-hand combat. Turn to your neighbor and say, I can show you these hands. Glory. Let's go back now into the text. Maki walks back into the Zenin clan like a storm wearing a human face. The same halls that laughed at her, the same bloodline that called her weak, the same family system that said you don't belong here. And in the middle of all that cursed tradition, her sister, looks at her and basically says, I can't keep living halfway so you can stay halfway. If you know, you know, glory. Because some moments you don't unlock your potential with motivational quotes. Some moments unlock your potential with a loss. It could be that goodbye, glory. That's just not a character, that's a testimony. Now let me bring it back for all y'all. Let me talk to the ones who feel like you've been living at 70% because something around you is keeping you small. I'm not talking to everybody, I'm talking to the one who's been through something. Glory to the anime. You've ever been stuck in a family pattern where your growth makes you people uncomfortable? You've ever been the one who's too different, too bold, too ambitious, too much for everyone else, and every time you try to evolve, somebody's pulling you back. Like, who do you think you are? That's the Zenin clan. That's a system that survives by convincing you your ceiling is permanent, glory. But my sacrifice is the part that hits home, because it's not just about death. It's about this truth right here. Sometimes your full potential is locked behind something you keep refusing to let go of. For all y'all, I'll give you some example. It's not always just a person. Sometimes it's you need to be liked, glory. Your comfort zone, your fear of disappointing people, your old identity, your safe version of yourself, the story you keep repeating because it's familiar, glory. Some of y'all prayed for peace and got the plot instead. Get ready for this plot. But the plot you're trying to build is keeping you in the prison, and you're trying to get free, glory. Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm still here and I'm still showing you these hands, glory. Now look at somebody else and say, I'm not the same person last season, glory, glory. Maki teaches us something violent and holy at the same time. Listen. You can't step into full power while you're still negotiating with chains. Hey, glory. Some of y'all keep asking anime for more, but you keep holding on what you require you to stay less, glory. Some of y'all are trying to become your future self while you're still dragging your past self by hand like a child throwing a tantrum, glory. Big sis in the group chat said, stand up, you look crazy. Oh, glory. Because this is the part where you realize the Zenin clan wasn't her biggest enemy, her limitations were. And the limitations weren't even hers. Glory. You gotta catch it. They were inherited in force and embedded. But my glory, looked at the situation and said, I'd rather die than watch you die slowly. Glory. Do you hear me? Let me repeat that. She said, I'd rather die, or she looked at the situation, she said, I'd rather die than watch you die slowly, glory. glory. Because some of your people don't die in a coffin. They die in work, they die in compliance, they die in people pleasing, they die in staying quiet, they die in never becoming who they really want to be or what they were called for, glory. You got to break those chains, because today the chains are having people, glory. I just had to really think. The chains are trying to keep you in a prison that you can never escape. You need to escape your own mindset. You need to escape your limitations, glory. My sacrifice, let me get back now because I just drift off into the anime holy realm. Come on, somebody. My sacrifice wasn't just sad, it was important to do. It was the piece of meat that you need to cut off. Unfortunately, it was the cut that last thread trying or tying Maki to almost her full potential. It ended the era of half and half. It ended the season with the potential with a leash on it, glory. You gotta catch it. Mike basically said, and I'm just interpreting it, if you're going to be free, you can't be free halfway, glory. And that is why Maki walks through the Zenin clan like judgment, not because she's bitter, but because she's done begging, done explaining, done shrinking, done proving, glory. This ain't no filler. This is your canon, glory. Some of you are waiting on permission to become Maki. You're trying to have permission to become like Maki, but Maki is the proof that sometimes the only permission you get is pain, and what you do with it decides your whole story arc, glory. So here's your last words, glory. Your full potential is on the other side of a funeral, not always a real one. Sometimes it's the funeral of your fear, your excuses, your addiction to comfort, your need for validation, the version of yourself that keeps surviving instead of, and what the version dies, you don't fall apart, you finally come together, glory. And look at somebody and say, don't play with me. Don't play with me. This is my fighting arc, glory. And all the anime fans and the people out there, just we say glory to the anime. Amen.